Which machine is better for you? A little 2,000 pound 1 ton or a 3,500 pound 1 3/4 ton machine? This one's powered by a gasoline Briggs and Stratton engine. This one's powered by a Yanmar diesel engine. This one just has normal controls on it. So the valve's still open when it's just sitting turned off. This one has pilot controls. Nothing works if it's not running. So today we're going to talk about which one of these is better for you. If you have some property, you have a little homestead, maybe you have a little business and you want to pick up a little machine to use on the side. Would one of these machines work well for you? Let me give you a little introduction. This I picked up about 1.5 years ago. This is a Kymron RH14-3. This is comparable to a whole lineup of Kymron machines. They all have different options. This one, when they were making it, was one of the top of line machines. It had the side swing boom. It has the hydraulic thumb with the little pedal. It has all kinds of cool features. This one is the newest, latest, and greatest of this size. This one is the XH20D. This one, like I said, pilot controls, diesel engine, weighs a good bit, and this one's so much more stable than this one. But this one fits into tighter places than this one. Which one do you want? Which one do I want? Which one am I going to use? Well, we're going to go over that in this video, and I'm going to show you side by side the dimensions, and we're going to get into some lifting and some digging with these and see which one really works out better. Let's start with the basics. This is a 2,200 pound Briggs and Stratton gas motor machine. It's got 13.5 horsepower. This one is a 3,500 pound machine, and it has 22 horsepower with its Yanmar diesel. So they look fairly similar, but they are not the same. Some measurements. The bucket that comes on this one, it's 13 inches wide right here at the back. Up here at the front, 16 inches across the front. This one, 13.5 inches. When we run across the front, this one is just about 16 inches. So we're going to say these buckets are pretty darn similar in size. Apples to apples, very similar setups. The tracks on this one, they're 7 inches wide. The tracks on this one, these are 9 inches wide. Now where they really differ is the length of the tracks. From front to back, these tracks, let's see, you're right about 48 inches long. Height off the ground, 12 inches. I wish it wasn't such a wet, rainy, muddy day today. Oh well, let's get this done. So from the front of this track all the way to the back, this is 60 inches long. So from 48 to 60, that's significant. The height, we're looking at 12 inches again. It's the same height of the track, but 60 inches and 48. Man, that's a whole foot longer on this one than the other one. That means a lot more stability when you're working with it. So the dozer blades on these things. This one, 45.5 inches wide. This one here, you're talking 36.5. So that's a pretty significant difference in the width of these. If you take a look at this, you see that this blade, this is a boxed frame on this dozer blade where it's going to lift up and down. And this one over here just has simple, pretty thick. It's beefy, but it's just a straight bar on either side, where that one's boxed. Now this bar, we're talking 1/2 inch thick steel. So that's pretty significant. This box portion is just over 1.5 inches. From the chassis, the center of that bolt to the back of this dozer blade, we're talking 13 inches here. From this one, the center of the bolt to the back of the blade, 17.5 inches. So this sticks out quite a bit more. And where that really matters is where you put the blade down and you're working to gain some stability by putting the blade down, maybe uneven ground, hill, sinky ground, something like that. You're really going to want that. If you need to access the engine on this, lift this up. This is your fuel tank. That's just this cute little thing, and it sits on top of the engine. So in this chassis design, there are a lot of the Chinese mini excavators or 1-tons are built just like this with the same machine. But this has a hydraulic oil cooler and an electric fan. See that? So it's pushing a whole bunch of air across there, and then it cools everything down, and we don't have the issue that so many of these have. These little 1-tons, if they're not set up right, your gas can boil because it's sitting on top of the engine. You're going to need to add some cooling fans or all kinds of stuff if you have one of the little auction units. Let me jump off into that real quick. So this chassis looks the same as so many of these little 1-tons. You could buy them at auction. You can get them all over the place. I mean, there's all kinds of brands, from AGT to High Top. I mean, you name it. The list is endless, and I couldn't possibly name it all here. But it looks the same, but is it the same? So with this Kymron unit, let me just give you a tour of some of the basics. Hydraulic thumb comes installed from the factory. On the other side, it has a pedal, a little foot control for that hydraulic thumb. Already factory installed, don't have to do anything with it. So another thing, it's got this bash plate right here to stop you from hitting this cylinder and breaking it. And I've bent this and had to take it off and straighten it before. So it really works, highly recommended. It has a little light, like a lot of them have, but it has this little metal protector, and you can see it's even been smacked on stuff before, and it's protected my light. And that matters. You can also see here, see all these metal lines? All the way through, it's got metal lines, besides where it can't have them. And that is a big plus, to have metal lines instead of just rubber lines hanging all over the place, waiting to get snagged on stuff. Now, there's still a possibility with some of these, but the metal lines on this certainly add to it. This cylinder here also has a little bash guard. I don't believe I've hit that one yet, but I could at any moment in time. I think I've hit it down there and chipped it, and so you see a little bit of rust. But even this dozer blade is beefier than a lot of the little 1-ton units. This also comes equipped with a side swing boom. Let me show you what I mean. Normally you turn the stick, cab left, cab right. But if you flick this switch, side swing boom. So what this lets you do is, imagine this. You come up on the side of a building or a driveway or something, and you can just come right along beside it, and you're going to be able to dig right beside it. See that? So now I'm able to dig right beside the tracks here and put it right up against a building. That's a nice feature. Simple and cheesy. My cheap little Chinese seat has armrests. I actually like the armrests. I'm happy about my little armrests. They're nice. You won't see a control panel like this on many other machines. I don't think any other ones, honestly. Got a digital voltmeter. It's got a digital hour meter. Got your side swing boom, and there's your fog light. Now these are your drive sticks, and then you control the machine with these. So it's pretty handy. Some of the other ones have long sticks, and I think this is a nicer setup. Now mine are bent because I had a tree fall on my hand on this one and it broke off, so I had to weld it back together, so I didn't quite get it right. Some of the cheap machines don't have a real counterweight on it. This is a beefy counterweight, and it's got that. This one does come with tie down points here if you choose to tie it down there. And also another thing, under this cover, this isn't a mechanical adjuster. Well, it is, but it's greased. It's done by grease. So you put your grease gun in here, pump it up, and that changes the tension on the tracks. Just a quick overview of what this machine is. And it looks like all the other 1-tons, and something that does perform the same. It's 2,200 pounds with a Briggs and Stratton motor or Ratto motor, whatever it is, whatever engine you have. It's going to be about the same weight and the same length, therefore the same tippiness. But this one, I just think is nicer for a tippy machine. Another thing this has, Kymron upgrades the spool valves in here, so it's not as jerky as some of the other ones. We're going to do a review. I think I'm going to do a AGT, maybe a high top, versus this one, and we're going to go side by side and we're going to compare them and see just how much better this is than one of those. But that's not today. Today we're talking about the XH20D versus this RH14-3. A lot of similar features on this as my little 1-ton. We've got the hydraulic thumb controlled by a little foot pedal. We've got a light here, which is a metal light, not plastic. It doesn't have the housing, but it's not a cheapy little plastic one. I think it's nicer. I don't know, we'll see. Pretty easy to replace on Amazon if need be. The cylinders are protected behind the boom. We don't have to worry about a bash guard like that one has, because that is a beefy arm. This is a much thicker arm than that one too. As usual, these are my toys. This is my toy box, so these are my little Tonka toys. I always wanted stuff like this when I was a kid. Well, now I'm an adult. Kind of, mostly an adult. I'm the age of an adult, but I still play with toys. Anyway, so this has the valve here, so you can add attachments. So this one also has a foot control for the thumb, like I said, but it also has foot controls for the drive motor. So the drive motors and foot pedals are all integrated together. On this one, you fill your hydraulic fluid here. The other one is beside the seat. The fuel tank, the diesel fuel, is on the other side, just like this on this one. Now, in this rainy day, I did learn that this slick metal here is slippery. So I'm going to add some grip tape just like I did to that one, and that ought to make this one better. On my last video, I complained about these things rattling. I put little rubber stoppers in here. They're now silent. I stopped the rattle. So this one, you've got your pilot controls, and they're really nice. I'll show you how that works in just a little bit, and when I start operating it. Actually, why don't we do that now? Let's go pick up some logs. I'm gonna do some logs. Man, I don't want you to get confused or disappointed or have the wrong idea here. So this is my disclaimer. I'm not an operator. I'm just a guy with some little toys with a little YouTube channel. I like to do reviews on these things. I don't really know how to work them very well. Are you an operator? Do you know what you're doing? Do you see things I'm doing wrong? Leave it in the comments. Chime in, help me improve. I'd never used one of these things before a year and a half ago. That's when I got my little 1-ton. And then just a few weeks ago, I got this 3,500 pound diesel one. So I'm just learning, and I'm having a good time doing it. And I'm sharing what I learned with all you folks. So disclaimer, I don't know what I'm doing, just figuring it out. Thanks for coming along. Oh, and by the way, like and subscribe if you like this sort of stuff. A lot more reviews to come. I found a pile of logs. I bet I can't pick those up. I bet I can pick this up. Let's see how both of them pick it up. How big is this log? Good thing I got a tape handy. This is about 10 inches in diameter. My tape's only 16 foot long, so I'm gonna go maybe 18 feet on this log. Let's go grab a machine and try it out. This is no big deal. That took zero effort or skill. Nope. That's a big log. Well, in this one, I think it's both a win. I mean, that was easy. Whoa! Now there's a difference. See that? Put it too far out, and this booger's tipping. That's that tippiness I was talking about. You need to keep your dozer blade down, and now we don't have to worry about the tippy anymore. But I don't think I'd want to turn this and jerk it out to the side. Let's put it down some. See what I mean? Just tipped over. So, let's see if I can get this thing back. Nope, not gonna happen. Let's just drop it here. Alrighty then. Let's go back to the XH20D and move this log back. And this one's slow, super slow. Definitely moves. For but I'm not tipping over like I was on the other one. If I'm jerky, this will be jerky. It's nothing like the other one. Yeah, look how much more stable this one is. Let's put that blade down. Not a care in the world. Nothing. This booger ain't tipping. Okay, I'm done being jerky. Let's put this log back. Stability test. This one's a big win. Maybe we should do a quick dig test. Yeah, let's do that. So we've got here is a load of shale, a lot of rocks in it. We're gonna take each one and just grab a big scoop of this and see how it does with a big old load of shale and rock. Let's start with this one. That was easy. Honestly, for just basic digging, I didn't really see much of a difference. I could hear this one worked harder, but a scoop's a scoop, a bucket's a bucket. It picked it up, no big deal. That was easy for either machine. You just need digging. This might be all right for you. Next, let's look at the reach of this. This is as far as this can reach out. That's a full extension. Let's pull that XH20D up beside it. We're going to line the dozer blades up end to end and see how far that one can reach. Real world reach test. from the back of the blade to the front of the bucket, not including the teeth, almost 8.5 feet. It's 8 feet 4.5 inches. It's pretty sizable. This one, back of the dozer blade to the front of the bucket, no teeth. This is 7 feet 6 inches on the nose, 90 inches. So yeah, this one's got a little bit more reach to it. It also can dig deeper. How high do these things go? I don't know the answer to that. I'm curious about that one. Well, that's pretty significant, honestly. Let's hook on the bucket. Without getting my tape in the mud, top of the tape, just over 8.5 feet. It looks like we're probably sitting at 8 feet 10 inches. This one, ten feet. So extra foot of reach on the big boy over the little boy. Either way, both pretty capable. This looks like it really shows a size difference from the dozer blades to the thickness of the arm, the boom, how high the buckets go. For same size buckets, these are not the same machine, clearly. So if you're wondering, you can get little 1-tons at an auction anywhere from $3,000 on up these days. If you want a Kymron one and you want the same sort of setup that I have here in mine, you're gonna be looking at just over $7,000 to start off with all the upgrades that they come with. Now on this Yanmar diesel powered one, I don't know where you could get something like this out there. I'm sure there are, but this one's kind of in a different class than a lot of the other ones. So this one, you can go to Kymron, which they have a variety of dealerships around the country. There's one by me, Muskogee, Oklahoma, but then they've got, I think, like Tennessee, Arizona, Florida. I don't even know them all. It's on their website. But this one, this starts at, it's $17,500 for this one. Now you can get much bigger units, much smaller units. But my first thoughts in review video of this, I showed how I thought that this was a really sturdy cage. And I came up over here and I shook it. And I said, look how sturdy this is. And I got a lot of hate in the comments. I don't know what a big machine's like. Said it's kind of like a ROPS, but it doesn't say it. I don't think it is because it moves. But this one, that's what I call the mousetrap. Let me show you what my experience has been this. And I moved to that. That's so stable. Look at this one. See that? One hand, just shove it around. But then this one, one hand, to prove to you what I am doing. See? But it's a great sunshade. So this one is a whole lot beefier than this, which feels like a piece of junk. It's not, but it sure feels like it in comparison. There you go, quick down and dirty, some of the nuts and bolts of these things, how they work and some of the differences between the dimensions, and a little pickup test of a log, which you could clearly see the difference between that. If you just want to do some digging, either one of them would be great. You want to pick up big heavy things, I'll probably stay away from that little baby one. It can do it, some of it, and it's a whole lot better than picking up yourself and breaking your back. But a bigger one like this is probably the answer. So I'm going to do a few more tests and comparisons as we move forward with ownership of these things. I'm going to do a hill test. So how steep a hill, what kind of grade can you go down and go up without tipping over? Loading on a trailer, I feel a lot safer on this one than the little 1-ton. 1-ton's scary. Sometimes it does wheelies. You got to make sure that bucket's down all the time. Woo! Anyway, thanks for coming out. Like and subscribe if you like this sort of thing. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for your support. Like I said before, leave some comments down below if you have anything to add, or if you want to see something. Do you need some information on one of these machines or something that I have? Let me know. I can go get some measurements, go whatever. If you want to see some more videos, tell me what kind of content you want to see. What are some ideas to do some reviews on these things, and we'll try to get those done. But as usual, enjoy your time in the trees and have yourself a great day. Let me give you a little introduction. I really appreciate